Welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about how to take the derivative of hyperbolic functions. And so you're probably not familiar with hyperbolic functions. They are typically functions that you are first introduced to in calculus. And so all hyperbolic functions are is a special class of exponential functions. And so we have all 6 of them here. You'll notice that their notation is very similar to the trigonometric functions. The only difference is that we have this extra h added on to the end of each of them. And so the 6 functions are hyperbolic sine, hyperbolic cosine, hyperbolic tangent, hyperbolic cosecant, hyperbolic secant, and hyperbolic cotangent. And so the 2 most important hyperbolic functions that you need to know are hyperbolic sine and hyperbolic cosine, because the rest of the hyperbolic functions stem from these 2 functions, right? So hyperbolic sine of x is equal to e to the power of x minus e to the power of negative x divided by 2, and hyperbolic cosine is equal to e to the power of x plus e to the power of negative x divided by 2. And then the rest of our hyperbolic functions are defined using these 2 hyperbolic functions. And you'll notice that they're very similar to the trigonometric identities that you may know for our trig functions. We have that hyperbolic tangent is equal to hyperbolic sine divided by hyperbolic cosine. And that's similar to how the tangent function is equal to sine divided by cosine. And so if you wanted to know what hyperbolic tangent was equal to, you would divide this exponential function or hyperbolic sine function by the hyperbolic cosine function, which would be this exponential function. All right, and so that's how you would figure out what hyperbolic tangent is. And then you could do the same thing for the rest of our hyperbolic functions, where you just have one divided by another hyperbolic function, right? Hyperbolic cosecant is 1 divided by hyperbolic sine, hyperbolic secant is 1 divided by hyperbolic cosine, and hyperbolic cotangent is equal to 1 divided by hyperbolic tangent. All right, and so those are the 6 hyperbolic functions that you need to know, but in addition to actually knowing the functions, there are also some hyperbolic identities that you should be aware of, similar to trigonometric identities. And so here they are. I have the 3 most important hyperbolic identities here on the screen. However, there are more, but they are not used as commonly as these 3 will be. And typically you will find that these will be useful when you are working with simplifying your answers or when you are trying to integrate a function that has hyperbolic functions in it. And you'll see that in a future lesson when we look at how to integrate hyperbolic functions. But our first identity here is that the hyperbolic cosine function squared minus the hyperbolic sine function squared is equal to 1. Then our second one is that hyperbolic tangent squared plus hyperbolic secant squared is equal to 1. And then our third is that hyperbolic cotangent squared minus hyperbolic cosecant squared is equal to 1 as well. Okay, and so make a note of these somewhere because they might come in handy as you begin to work with hyperbolic functions. All right, and so now that you have been introduced to the hyperbolic functions as well as 3 of the most important identities around those functions, it's time to look at how to take the derivative of these functions. And so in order to figure out how to take the derivative of our hyperbolic functions, let's look at how to take the derivative of hyperbolic sine by taking the derivative of both sides of this equation. All right, so here we have that the derivative of hyperbolic sine is equal to the derivative of e to the power of x minus e to the power of negative x divided by 2. And all we're doing here is taking the derivative of both sides of the equation from the previous page where we had the definition for the hyperbolic sine function, right? Hyperbolic sine is equal to e to the power of x minus e to the power of negative x divided by 2. And so if we take the derivative of this function, we will know what the derivative of hyperbolic sine is. Okay, and so I'm going to start by pulling out the constant multiple of 1/2 here to the outside of the derivative, right? That's not going to be affected by the derivative process, and so this is equal to 1/2 times the derivative of e to the power of x minus e to the power of negative x. And so in order to take the derivative here of e to the power of x and e to the power of negative x, we will need to remember the derivative rule that the derivative of e to the power of u is equal to e to the power of u times u prime, the derivative of u. And so first we have the derivative of e to the power of x, and in this case u would be x, and the derivative of u, or the derivative of x, would just be 1, right? The derivative of x is just 1. And so we would have that this is equal to 1/2 times e to the power of x, right? We would rewrite that exponential function and multiply by its derivative, which is just 1, and so that's not going to change this. Another way to think about it is that when you have e to the power of x, the derivative is just e to the power of x. But then for our second term here, if we take the derivative of this exponential function, we will have minus e to the power of negative x times the derivative of the exponent, right, negative x. And that's not just going to be 1, that's going to be negative 1, right? When you take the derivative of x to the first power, it's just equal to its coefficient, which in this case is negative 1. And so we'll multiply by negative 1, and that will be the derivative of these two terms. And so if we simplify, if we multiply this by negative 1, this term will become positive, and so we'll have that this is equal to 1/2 times e to the power of x plus e to the power of negative x. And if we rewrite this so that these two terms are divided by 2, we will have that this is equal to e to the power of x plus e to the power of negative x divided by 2. And so now, do you recognize this function right here? Well, we actually just looked at it on the previous page when we were looking at the hyperbolic functions. This is the definition of the hyperbolic cosine function, right? Hyperbolic sine is e to the power of x minus e to the power of negative x divided by 2, but the hyperbolic cosine function is the same thing, except these two terms in the numerator are being added, which is exactly what we have right here. And so what we actually find here is that the derivative of hyperbolic sine is equal to hyperbolic cosine, right? That's going to be the derivative of that function. And so we could go through a similar process that we did to find this derivative for all of the other hyperbolic functions. And if we did, we would come up with the other derivative rules for those hyperbolic functions that we're going to look at right now. All right, so here's our derivative rules for the hyperbolic functions. We just found that the derivative of hyperbolic sine is equal to hyperbolic cosine, but if we went through the rest of them, we would find that the derivative of hyperbolic cosine is equal to hyperbolic sine. The derivative of hyperbolic tangent is equal to hyperbolic secant squared. The derivative of hyperbolic cosecant is equal to negative hyperbolic cosecant times hyperbolic cotangent. The derivative of hyperbolic secant is equal to negative hyperbolic secant times hyperbolic tangent, and the derivative of hyperbolic cotangent is equal to negative hyperbolic cosecant squared. And so maybe you notice that there's some similarities here between the derivatives of these hyperbolic functions and the derivative of the normal trigonometric functions, right? We know that the derivative of sine is cosine, just like the derivative of hyperbolic sine is hyperbolic cosine, and we know that the derivative of tangent is secant squared, and here we have the derivative of hyperbolic tangent is hyperbolic secant squared. And so there are some similarities between the derivatives of the trig functions and the hyperbolic functions, but what you need to be careful with is the negative signs, right? The derivative of cosine is equal to negative sine, but the derivative of hyperbolic cosine is positive hyperbolic sine, right? So this is not negative. And so there are some differences that you need to be aware of. All right, and so take note of the derivative rules where a negative sign is present and the derivative rules where it is not present. Okay, and so similar to our other derivative rules, we also could have a version of these rules for a function other than just x within these hyperbolic functions, right? We could have derivative rules for when the chain rule would need to be used for these hyperbolic functions. And so here we have those derivative rules. If we have hyperbolic sine of some function u, where u would be defined with x, that would be equal to hyperbolic cosine of u times the derivative of u prime. And so you'll notice that the only difference here is that we are multiplying by the derivative of whatever is inside our hyperbolic sine function. And that's going to be the case for all of these other derivative rules as well. When you have a hyperbolic function of some function other than just x, you're also going to need to remember to multiply by the derivative of that inside function. Okay, and so once again, that is just the chain rule in action for these derivative rules. All right, and so with that, now that we have learned the derivative rules for hyperbolic functions, let's go ahead and use them with some example problems. All right, so here we have our first example. We have the derivative of 3 times hyperbolic sine of x squared. And for this derivative, we're going to need to know the derivative rule for hyperbolic sine. And so here I have that rule. And so if we take the derivative of this function, we will have that it is equal to that 3 times the derivative of hyperbolic sine of x squared. And so first we'll have hyperbolic cosine of whatever that function is inside the hyperbolic sine function. And so that is x squared. And so we will have hyperbolic cosine of x squared, but then we need to multiply by the derivative of that inside function, x squared. And so the derivative of x squared is 2x, right? If we use the power rule, we will multiply the exponent down and then subtract 1 from the exponent, and so we have 2 times x to the power of 1. Okay, and so then if we simplify this by multiplying 3 and 2 together, we'll have that this is equal to 6x times hyperbolic cosine of x squared. And that will be the derivative of this function. Next, we want to find the derivative of hyperbolic tangent of 2 times e to the power of x. And so for this function, we're going to need to know the derivative rule for the hyperbolic tangent function. And so we have that it is equal to hyperbolic secant squared of whatever function is inside our hyperbolic tangent function times the derivative of that function. And so we will have that this derivative is equal to hyperbolic secant squared of this inside function, 2 times e to the power of x, times the derivative of that inside function. And the derivative of 2 times e to the power of x is actually just 2 times e to the power of x. Right, the constant multiple will not be affected by the derivative process, and the derivative of e to the power of x is just itself, and so we're just going to multiply by 2 times e to the power of x. And so then there's nothing to really simplify here, and so this is the derivative of this function. Next, we want to find the derivative of the natural log of hyperbolic cosine of x. And for this derivative, we are going to need to know the derivative rule for the hyperbolic cosine function. And we have that that is equal to hyperbolic sine of u, or whatever function is inside the hyperbolic cosine function, times the derivative of that inside function. However, before we use that rule, notice that our function here is the natural log of the hyperbolic cosine function, right? The hyperbolic cosine function is inside the natural log function. And so we're going to need to use the chain rule for the natural log function. And so remember that the derivative of the natural log of u is equal to 1 divided by u times u prime, the derivative of u. And so in this case, u is the hyperbolic cosine function. And so we're just going to take 1 divided by that function and then multiply by its derivative. And so this will be equal to 1 divided by hyperbolic cosine of x times the derivative of hyperbolic cosine of x, which since the inside function is just x, we're just going to have hyperbolic sine of x, right? Because the derivative of x is just 1, and so multiplying by that derivative will not change the function in any way. And so we'll multiply by hyperbolic sine of x, and that will be equal to hyperbolic sine of x divided by hyperbolic cosine of x, which if you remember from the beginning of this lesson, we know that hyperbolic sine divided by hyperbolic cosine is actually equal to hyperbolic tangent. And so that is going to be the derivative of this function. Okay, and so it's going to be important for you to remember what some of these hyperbolic functions are equal to so that you can simplify your answer to its simplest form. All right, so next we have the derivative of x times hyperbolic cotangent of x. And so for this function, we know we're going to need to use the derivative rule for hyperbolic cotangent, which is equal to negative hyperbolic cosecant squared of that function u inside the hyperbolic cotangent function times the derivative u prime. But notice for this function here that we want to take the derivative of, that we have a product of two functions, right? We have x times hyperbolic cotangent of x. And so we're going to need to use the product rule to take the derivative of this function. And so if you don't quite remember the product rule, I'll have it up here on the screen for you to reference as we go through this derivative. But what we'll have is that this is equal to our first function, x, times the derivative of our second function, which will be the derivative of hyperbolic cotangent, and that is going to be negative hyperbolic cosecant squared x times the derivative of x, which would just be 1, and so we don't need to write that. And then we will add that to our second function, which is hyperbolic cotangent x, times the derivative of the first function, which is just x, and like we've been saying, the derivative of x is just 1, and so we'll multiply by 1. And so, if we simplify, this will be equal to negative x times hyperbolic cosecant squared x plus hyperbolic cotangent x. And that is the derivative of this function. Next up, we have the derivative of hyperbolic secant squared x. And in order to take the derivative of this function, we will need to use the derivative rule for hyperbolic secant. and we know that that is equal to negative hyperbolic secant times hyperbolic tangent times the derivative of whatever that inside function is. And so before we use this derivative rule, notice that this hyperbolic secant function is squared. And so if we rewrite this, we would have that this is equal to the derivative of the hyperbolic secant function squared, right? That would be the same as this function, and that's going to help us see how we're going to take the derivative of this function using the chain rule. Because what we have here is a composite function where hyperbolic secant is the inside function and the quantity squared would be your outside function. And so to take the derivative of this, we will need to take the derivative of the outside function and then multiply by the derivative of the inside function. And so this will be equal to the derivative of the outside function. So we'll multiply the exponent down to have 2 times hyperbolic secant of x to the power of 2 minus 1. And of course, that would just be equal to 1. And so we have a power of 1, but we don't need to write that. And so we just have 2 times hyperbolic secant, and then we need to multiply by the derivative of hyperbolic secant, that inside function. And so if we use this rule over here, u is just equal to x, and so the derivative of x is just 1, and so we don't need to worry about multiplying by the derivative because multiplying by 1 will not change anything. And so we will have that the derivative is negative hyperbolic secant of x times hyperbolic tangent of x, and that will be the derivative of hyperbolic secant. And so if we multiply everything together here, notice that we have 2 hyperbolic secant functions, and so those will multiply together and become hyperbolic secant squared. And so our final answer is that this is equal to negative 2, right? I'm just bringing that negative out front and multiplying it by the 2. So we have negative 2 times hyperbolic secant squared x times hyperbolic tangent x. And that will be the derivative of this function. All right, so for our last example, we have the derivative of hyperbolic cosecant of x cubed minus x. And in order to take the derivative of this function, we will need to know the derivative rule for hyperbolic cosecant, which says that it is equal to negative hyperbolic cosecant times hyperbolic cotangent times the derivative of the inside function. And so in this case, u, that inside function, is x cubed minus x. And so we are going to need to worry about multiplying by the derivative of that inside function in this case, because it is a function other than just x. And so the derivative is not going to be just 1. And so we will have that this is equal to negative hyperbolic cosecant of that inside function, x cubed minus x, times hyperbolic cotangent of that inside function, x cubed minus x. And then we will multiply by the derivative of that inside function. And so if we use the power rule on x cubed, we will multiply the exponent of 3 down and then subtract 1 from that exponent. And so we will have 3x squared. And then we will subtract the derivative of x, which we know is just 1. And so then that is the end of that derivative, and ultimately the answer for the derivative of this function. There's really nothing here that we can simplify, and so we can just say that the derivative of this function is negative hyperbolic cosecant of x cubed minus x times hyperbolic cotangent of x cubed minus x times the quantity 3x squared minus 1. Okay, and so that is the derivative of this function. And so with that, that is all I had for this lesson on the derivative of hyperbolic functions. If you want to see some more examples, feel free to check out our examples video that I'll have linked at the end of this video as well as in the description below. If you have any questions, feel free to leave those in the comments. But if you don't have any questions, this is all I had for now. So I will see you next time.